Hello, my name is Jess and I make books. I make books? Hello, my name's Jess and I make videos all about books and writing. Today I'm going to be taking you along with me on a writing vlog. So I took part in NaNoWriMo and I have finished a novel. And so now it's time for me to start redrafting. And I have no idea what I'm doing. So I thought I would bring you along with me as I try and figure out how on earth someone redrafts a novel. So my novel is an adult urban fantasy and I've been working on it since I think about April last year. So it's currently at about 80,000 words and you can follow along my NaNoWriMo journey. I vlogged, I think there's 4 vlogs up on my channel. They're all in a playlist. I'll link them somewhere. So do check those out if you're interested on how I got this far in my novel writing journey. So I have never redrafted a novel. So I've written 2 other novel length works or projects, but both of those I finished writing the first draft and I realised that it would take a lot to redraft them and I was already wanting to move on to a different project. And this is the first time I've actually finished a draft of a novel and I have realised that there is something in it and that actually I could take it further. I just have no idea how to actually do that. So my goal is basically to take you along today as I try and figure out what on earth I need to do. So I do plan on making a series of videos about my redrafting journey. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so you can follow along with me. So today I am basically just planning on figuring out my next steps. So I finished the novel in November. So I've reread it, I've given it to one of my friends to read. So I have my notes on what I think needs improving, I have her notes on what she liked and what she wants and what she would want to see more of. I think the challenge is figuring out the best way to go ahead and what I can do to make the novel the best version of itself it can be. So I do feel like there's the expectation that once you finish draft 1, you have to rewrite it completely and you have to do a complete overhaul of everything, and like for draft 2 you need to really start dissecting the novel and really shake it up and think about and maybe change a lot about it. And I don't know, I think it needs a lot of improvement. I think it needs structural changes. I think it definitely needs change to do with the pacing. And I do want to, change the ending. But other than that, I don't think it actually needs any big real big changes. I think I am quite happy with it. I think it's mostly a case of making sure that the themes are being discussed throughout and all the plot points are introduced well in advance. And the story carries through in a way that makes sense. And everything that happens in the story later on is already rooted in foreshadowing and is already set up well in advance. I think it does lack. I think the first half is set up quite well and the second half isn't, I think, as strong as the first. So I think I do need to go through and I think foreshadow things that happens in the second half earlier on. There is a section in sort of the end of the first third that needs changing because what happens doesn't really make sense in the context. So yeah, so I think there are things that need changing, but I find the thing I struggle with personally is I very much love the beginning of an idea with a story when you are creating ideas before they go on the page and sort of creating the plot. And I think I really struggle at this point when you have the novel and you have the plot and then you're trying to figure out how to improve it. And I feel restricted in that the plot is already there and I don't actually need to add anything. I just need to either take things away that don't work fully, which I hate doing, and really refine what's already on the page. So yeah. So the moral of the story is I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sort of at a crossroads currently because I'm not sure whether the best thing to do is to reread it again after sort of leaving it a couple of months and to see what I think of it now, or I start attempting the redraft, or I write. So when I was originally writing it, I had a list of everything that happened, a sort of a draft 0. So I'm tempted to do the same for this draft and to go back and just replot it, but using all the plots I've already written, but take those out of the novel, write a list of everything that happens, and then figure out if it works when you're just having like a bullet pointed list of everything that happens without it all being sort of wrapped up in the prose and the narrative, having it all in a list separately. So I'm debating doing that. And then also I have gone through and I figured out I've got a list of all my themes. I've got a list of the plots, of like the key plot archetypes that I'm working on. And the key character relationships and their arcs, and the characters and the main characters and their arcs. So I do need to go through all those and make sure that those are all really clear in my mind, and I've got really clear examples for so that every single scene I know exactly what its purpose is. So break down every single scene and put it into either a plot, a character, or a relationship arc. So I know that everything that happens in that novel has a purpose and has a reason for being there. And then if there's any plots left over or any scenes left over, I know that they don't necessarily deserve their place in the story. And if there's 2 scenes that maybe do the same thing, they don't both need to be there. So I think that is what I'm going to do. So yeah, I think I'm going to go through I'm going to write a list of everything that happens. So I might just summarise every single scene into a sentence, have a list of all of my scenes, and then distribute those scenes into, does it contribute to the plot, does it contribute to the character, and does it contribute to the relationships? And then once I've done that, I can see if I have enough of everything. Having just said that, I do remember actually another relationship I need to work on, so that will have to go on my list. And yeah, and then once I have the distribution of every single scene, I'll be able to see if everything is working the way it should. Great. So I now have a plan. I now know what I'm going to do. So yeah. So I'm going to go get my laptop set up and I'm going to bring you all along with me for some fun old redrafting. Here we go. Welcome back. So it's been a while actually since I filmed everything else you just watched. So that was, I think, nearly 2 weeks ago I filmed that. But it's been a bit, well, it was my birthday last week. So I've just been, I've been writing, but I haven't been filming. So yeah, time has passed. So, but the actual writing redraft is going really well. I think the idea that I had that you would have seen for where I decided that I was just going to write out sort of the entire plot, sort of scene by scene, that really helped. So what I did was I had my original plan that I used to write my first draft. I had my actual first draft up as well, and then I basically just went through the entire thing, basically just writing out every single thing that happened, sort of as like a list of events, and that was really helpful because then I could actually see where where things happened, that like where the plot kind of went on a bit of a weird tangent, and so I could really easily see sort of what areas needed improving and what areas worked really well, and then I could then add in things like foreshadowing for later events, moved events around slightly, and basically figured out and just wrote sort of the new plot once I figured out the old plot. But yeah, that was really helpful. So if you have just written a novel and you are thinking about redrafting, or if you are redrafting and you're not sure if you're doing it sort of the best way, I found this really helpful. As you saw, I had like no idea what I was doing at all, and I'm really happy that I decided to do this because it really did help. So it also helped me sort of clarify in my head what the story was. And then afterwards, I then told my friend like the entire plot through voice notes. And that also really helped because then she could point out sort of any plot holes that I hadn't realised, but also I was really sure of what the story was and what the plot was. And so now I've started rewriting now, and I know exactly what I'm doing and I know sort of why each scene is important. So yeah. It's gone really well. I think I've done about 6,000 words so far of the rewrite. Actually, I'm really happy with a lot of my first draft. I know from rereading it that the beginning is a lot stronger than the middle. But at the moment, I'm basically just copy and pasting a lot of the passages and just editing things sort of here and there. So currently the redraft is quite straightforward. I do know it's going to get a lot harder sort of the further I go with it, but right now it's going okay. So yeah, I think I'm basically going to stop the vlog here. I definitely will, I think, do another writing vlog probably in the next few weeks. I haven't really planned my videos for now on, and I am going on holiday in 2 weeks, so when I started this channel, I had an upload schedule, and that schedule is long gone. But I'm gonna do my best to sort of get back into a routine and figure out what videos I want to make next. Yeah, it's been really weird having a bit of a break. I've realised how much I actually really enjoy making videos. So I'm really excited to carry on. So if you haven't already subscribed and you enjoyed this video and are interested in more, please do subscribe. Let me know if you are also in the redrafting trenches and how you're going about it, and if you have any good tips and tricks. I would honestly love to hear any ideas anyone has. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this was, I don't know, helpful, inspiring, I don't know. I hope you got something out of it. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much if you are subscribed and if you are one of those people who watch every video and comment. Thank you so much. It's been really lovely having you here. So yeah, that's it. I will see you next week, hopefully, maybe. So have a lovely rest of your day.